Unlike many people around the world, I have always loved and admired snakes, viewing them as majestic creatures to be both feared and honored. Because of that, it felt very natural for me to visit the Python Temple during my trip to Benin Republic. This sacred temple has been active for several centuries, tracing back to the 17th century during the Kingdom of Dahomey. While the Python temple itself was established later, the Vodun serpent traditions it honors predates the transatlantic slave trade. Being at the Python temple felt like stepping into a living relationship where pythons are given personhood. In Ouidah, harming or killing a python is actually forbidden and carries very serious social and legal consequences. When a python happens to wander into a person's home or into public spaces, it is immediately returned to the temple, where it's cared for by the temple authorities. Pythons are protected here because of their sacred role within Vodun spirituality, especially their connection to Dan or Dangbé, a life force associated with fertility, protection, lineage, and regeneration. Our guide for this trip shared that facial scarification was once part of a devotional practice at the temple. In earlier generations, some devotees received ritual marks resembling serpent patterns as signs of spiritual dedication, lineage belonging, and protection. These markings functioned as embodied identifiers of relationship to Dongbe and to the wider Vodun community. While this practice is far less common today, its meaning continues through oral tradition and spiritual memory held by the people and the land. Our guide also explained that priests sometimes spend several days inside these small huts as part of spiritual seclusion. In Vodun practice, these periods of withdrawal support spiritual replenishment, prayer, and preparation, allowing attention to remain on communion with spiritual forces and ancestors. Inside the temple itself, a mural depicts the 7-year purification ceremony, a cyclical Vodun rite connected to renewal and protection for Ouidah. At the center of the story is a sacred jar, tended to by temple authorities, along with a ceremony procession involving 41 women, traditionally described as versions and oral accounts, but in some contemporary tellings, these roles are held by postmenopausal women whose bodies are understood as carrying a different kind of ritual stability and containment. The women gather sacred water and leaves used in the ceremony, which focuses on cleansing, recalibration, and the restoration of balance for the temple and the wider community. The mural records this rite as an act of spiritual maintenance. Later, while walking through the sacred forest of Kapase, I encountered a different expression of the serpent, the circular form often recognized as the Ouroboros. Seeing it there shifted something for me. If you're a Marvel fan like I am, you might recognize the Ouroboros from the Loki series, where time loops back onto itself and everything moves through cycles rather than straight lines.
I'm Ouroboros. Nice to meet you, Loki.
Ouroboros.
Ouroboros.
But he calls me Obi.
Yeah, I call him Obi. That's like a nickname I have, yeah.
Wow. How long has it been?
Could it be 3 or 4?
400 years.
Feels like 1,000, right?
Yeah.
Encountering that same form here in this forest grounded me in the idea of cycles showing up in land, lineage, and lived spiritual practices. In my work as a holistic sexual health coach, I pay attention to how the body holds timing related to desires, boundaries, energy, and rest. Sexual health lives in that awareness. It grows through listening, through honoring when something has completed its role, and through allowing space for vitality to return in its own time. That understanding feels especially clear as this year comes to a close. If this video resonates with you, I invite you to like, share, and follow for more reflections from my year of return. I'll continue sharing stories, teachings, and embodied experiences from my time in West Africa and beyond, grounded in ancestral wisdom, spiritual practice, and holistic care. I love you.